What is happening, Steeler Nation? Y'all in your feels? You sad? Upset? Not so upset? Understanding? Expected that outcome? All of the above. I know there's a lot. There's a lot of feelings, and I'm gonna play into some of you guys' feelings tonight. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna play into some of you guys' feelings tonight. As you see in the title, I put in the second half of the title, "Who's to blame for the loss?" I'm gonna play into some of you guys' feelings tonight, man, and we'll have a quick conversation. Don't plan to be too long. Matter of fact, let's not go extremely long tonight. Hey Siri, set a 30-minute timer, please. There you have it. So what's up, guys? Let's say hello to some of the early commenters. LG Wall Jr., Thomas August Weinhardt, Dietrich Bundick, CT Pittman, 412 born and raised, Milk. I was about to say MLK, but Milk, Steal of Cards, Charles R., John Alexander, Y Diggy, John Alexander. Oh, I said John already. Maestro Fresh, Wes, James Tresvont, Dual Threat Gamer, 12 Gauge Hemi, BQ412, Don J, is that 828? Mark Cunningham, my man Mark, Chris Slavin, Pop is in the building. He knows who he is. Who else? Sonny Roth Miller, Knight Rider, Leonard Dodd. Look at that. We got Wonder Bread early. Thank you. Bring on the Wonder Bread, y'all. Maybe sandwiches will make me feel better. Appreciate that, Claude Bishop. Let's see what we got. Okay, we have the first one here. He says, "I like Tomlin, but it's time for him to step down." All right. Who else we got in here, man? Sade. Hello, Sade. The lovely Sade in the building. We always want to say hello to our lovely ladies of Steeler Nation. So I'm just going to scan really quick and see if I see anybody else as far as our lovely ladies. Give them their shout out, and if not, I'm going to keep it moving. Hey, Debbie. The lovely Debbie is in the building. Hello, Debbie. Always good to see and hear from you in real time. So Debbie is in the building as well. So let's get right to it, guys. Since I set a 30-minute timer, let's be brief. I don't even think I need to do my recap. It's no point. We saw what happened. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they received the ball. They decided to receive. They won the toss and decided to receive. Honestly, I usually like to receive the ball in the second half, but I think they probably tried to try something new. You know, they thought maybe they could get out to a lead. Excuse me. And maybe they thought, listen, we got to come out swinging if we can get up and make them chase us. Maybe that was the thought process. It did not work. No, the Steelers did not go 3 and out, but they went 5 and out. Yes, they went 5 and out. All right, they converted on third down with a read option or a zone read. They brought Justin Fields in, converted that, and then on the very next 2 plays, nothing doing, right? So they essentially went, I guess that's 6 and out. Guess it was 6 and out. So again, guys, you've heard me say this over and over and over. I've said it for several weeks. I said it in the video I posted today for some of you guys that may have saw it. The Steelers they can't come into these games and not be able to sustain drives. Again, I'm not saying that you score on every sustainable drive. The Ravens didn't, right? The Ravens had some decent drives that they didn't score on, or, we were able to get the ball maybe after like the 8th or 9th play. But you cannot have these drives where you're going 3 and out, 4 and out, 5 and out, 6 and out, right? You got to be able to stay on the field for at least 7 to 8 plays at minimum. That helps with time of possession. That shrinks the game. That limits the amount of times that the other offense can have the ball, and it gives your defense rest. And we did not do that. But what did the Ravens do? Yeah, I do have that notated on the first defensive series. The Ravens went downfield. Easy does it. 95-yard drive. 95-yard drive. On that same drive, we gave up a 3rd and 13 where Jackson was able to find Bateman later in that drive for the touchdown, but they went 95 yards, 7-0 just that quickly. And then it just got away from us, guys. Point blank, period. The defense just didn't play well enough. They did not do what I said the keys of victory would have been. And I'm sure many of you could have said the same keys. They were unable to stop the run. Derrick Henry once again went crazy. Almost had 200 yards. If I'm not mistaken, the Ravens rushed for 299 yards. And the Steelers, I don't even remember what the number was. I think we rushed for like 20 something. There's your ball game, folks. There's your ball game. Exactly what I've been saying all season, most of the season, is what happened. Our defense gives up explosive plays, right? It exploded on them. But also, we have no offense. We have no offense. No sustainable offense. No offense that can quick strike early in the game. No offense that can get up early on a team and make a team chase them. No, we don't have it. Which is the reason why I was not confident going into this game. Which is the reason why you heard me not confident going into Philadelphia. The reason why you heard me not confident going into Baltimore the second time of the year. The reason why you heard me not confident playing in Pittsburgh against the Kansas City Chiefs. And again, I wasn't confident back at home playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. All of the same reasons. I am very consistent with my points. Somebody earlier, and they probably in this chat, probably in here, but earlier on Twitter, I put out there, hey man, I tried to tell you guys a long time ago that this team wasn't that good. And the reply that I got back, this is what they told me. Yeah, I know you want the flowers, but is it so wrong for somebody to root for their team? And that's the part that cracks me up. I should be the last person that y'all think wants to pump his chest or wants to be right. I always consistently tell y'all, these are all opinions. But when I say these things about the football team, you do understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the eye test should tell each and every one of us the truth about this team. Yeah, I'm taking a different path right now. I'm off on a tangent because it cracks me up that you guys can watch me for as long as you have. Some of y'all. And you can make comments like that. I want to be right. It's funny. I'm often want to be wrong. A lot of things that we say, guys and gals, are opinions. But certain things about the X's and O's that we all should be able to see with our own eyes are facts. The facts were the Pittsburgh Steelers for the last several weeks had zero offense. They had an offense that didn't scare anybody. They had a defense that was giving up explosive plays. They had a defense that was being ran on, passed on, whatever teams wanted to do. So why was it so impossible for somebody with a sound mind and being unbiased, even though I have a Steeler hat on, a Steeler room, and everything else? How is it so hard to believe that a person of that nature would say, I don't think we're going to win this game, and here's the reason why? That has nothing to do with trying to be right. Y'all should stop that. What we should stop doing as a fan base is having this false hope. It'll make you feel better, I promise you. You're going to know when we have a team that's really a threat. You'll know it. You'll know it on the offense and defensive side of the ball. We don't have to be number one in both categories, but we need to be solid. We need to have a franchise QB. When you have those things, when you have what the Ravens have, man, they can play defense when they need to. Man, they can run the football. Man, they can put up outstanding numbers. Even Lamar Jackson passed for over 4,100. When you look at most of these playoff teams, I'm just saying, should be obvious. Round of applause, man. We got some more Wonder Bread in the building. Wonder Bread from Anthony Alamando. Round of applause. Appreciate you. Now, this Wonder Bread comment will probably piss some of you guys off. But Anthony says, shout out to Mike Tomlin for not missing the playoffs. They will make it again next year. Some of y'all don't care about that, but I respect his opinion. And thank you for the Wonder Bread. But let me get back to what I was saying. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and I really want to know the answer. Well, I'll do it in a minute. I pulled out all the stops tonight, guys. I did my pregame show with the big hat on, saying that we would need big hat moments from most people. I pulled out the Steelers watch. Look at that, look at that, look at that. I pulled out the Steelers timepiece and nothing helped. Nothing helped. It was a shot in the dark. Hey, they tried to make it respectable. They got some momentum going in the third quarter, but then they fell flat again. And here's the thing. Here is the thing, guys. They just got bullied tonight. The one thing that I feel like I wish we could have done differently, and again, I don't know all of the schematics. I don't. But this is what I said earlier today when I posted the other video. In week 16, when we played the Ravens, we keyed so much on Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry was able to still get off. Tonight, we keyed more on the running backs and we allowed Lamar to get going. And once Lamar got going, now we were in no man's land, and then they still allowed Derrick Henry to get going. I wish we would have had a better plan of maybe placing a guy on him and a guy on him, right? I use this analogy. If you guys remember in the rookie season of, what's his name? RG3. In his rookie season, he was tearing up the league, him and Alfred Morris. They came to Pittsburgh and we held them under 100 yards rushing. The way we did it is almost like we went college ball. One guy took the running back every time, and the other guy took RG3 every time, and we held them in check. So I was saying I would love to see us do that. And we didn't do it that often. You saw it tonight. It was a couple times when we had, I think Curb Heardstreet pointed it out, we had Peyton Wilson keying on the back, and then we had keying on Lamar, and we had TJ crashing, or whoever that was crashing down on the back, and we stuffed them. Now, you're not going to stuff them every play. Guys, this is I think they might be the number one offense in the league. They're close if they're not. Give some credit to the Ravens, number one. That's one thing that we don't do in Still a Nation. We never credit the other teams. But number two, it was nothing we could do with them. I don't know what it was we did in week 11? But we clearly couldn't replicate that plan. You know why? Because what I'm starting to notice, and I'm not even going to say starting, I've been noticed this. Our team doesn't make a whole lot of adjustments in terms of approach. I told you guys on Tuesday, hold that thought. Shout outs to my man, my good brother, Sim Gaming Network, man. I appreciate him. Thank you for the Wonder Bread SGN. I appreciate you. Yep. He said the only good news is I can get my revenge on the Ravens in Madden. And maybe I will when they do the weekly thing. Maybe they've already done it. Maybe I will pick up and play that game, start the franchise from that point, play that wild card game and continue from there. But yeah, man, listen. I told you guys on Tuesday, for as many people as want to throw so many darts at Mike Tomlin without substance, I told you what I think it is. And I'm going to stand on it again tonight. I think Mike Tomlin is a great football coach. That is my opinion. However, like I said on Tuesday, if you recall, and I might have said it after the game last week, the problem is the philosophy. The philosophy. And some people have said that they believe that philosophy comes from up top. If you guys will remember, Art Rooney II said before the season started, this is what we need to do. We need to get back to running the football and yada, 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 right? And it looked like they went out and built a team to do that, right? They bring in Arthur Smith, whose philosophy is clearly, we see what that is. Run that offense that you ran when you were at Tennessee, right? That was the philosophy. It did not work according to plan. Whether it was player personnel or execution, it did not work. So if people want to throw darts at Mike Tomlin, I'll give you that. Hey, the philosophy doesn't work anymore. But I'm sorry. Anybody who is trying to tell me that he's not a great football coach, maybe good. Some of y'all would say good. I'd say great. Then I just disagree with you. What the Steelers need right now is a change in philosophy. That's it. And I also told y'all last week what also is going to happen. I see you, Maestro. Give me just a second. What also you guys need to be prepared for is this is what you're going to see until Mike Tomlin decides that he does not want to come back. Unless something changes. I'll get to the changes in a moment. But this is why I don't go crazy every game, because y'all always run to he's got to go. He ain't going nowhere. I saved myself the sanity of just understanding he's not going anywhere. What are we talking about? We can be upset, but the man is not going anywhere. The Steelers are not going to fire him. So, like I said, the best that we can hope for is that the Steelers, if they're going to keep this same philosophy, they're going to find, they need to get a roster that can effectively carry it out, or it's going to be much of what we're seeing. That is just point blank, period. But I am going to get into that in a moment, a little deeper. Shout outs, man. Round of applause to Maestro Fresh West. I appreciate you, man. That Wonder Bread. Thank you very much. Yeah. He says, they got us again. Gonna miss your weekly commentary, brother. You don't have to miss it. I'll still be here weekly. The only thing that will change, obviously, is I won't be doing post-game shows. But Terrible Towel Tuesday will continue. And I'll need you guys' help as well, man, to keep coming, and we'll just find stuff to talk about, man. And what I will do differently this year is I will read articles and stuff, and I'll grab stuff from here, from there, and that'll be the stuff that we'll talk about. But I keep this thing going all year. Obviously, it's not as, maybe the viewership goes down a bit because everyone is not as interested. But you guys who stick with me throughout the year, appreciate y'all, love y'all, because y'all rock with me the whole duration of the year. But I ain't going nowhere, man. But I am myself as well going to miss these knee-jerk reaction shows post-game. But that's what it is, guys. And even in this game, man, it was just too many times where, like, I'm not even going to call Arthur Smith in the office because I'm sick. Let me just say that. Let me just say that. You know what? I am going to call him into the office really quick. Arthur Smith, come in here because I got something to say to you really fast. And then you can get out of here because I want to talk to my lovely family here. I'm done with you, Arthur Smith. I am. I'm done. You are now, let me see, I gotta find a name for you, and I gotta do it on the spot. OC. That's it. I'm only gonna refer to you as the OC. Just like I take a player's name away from him, I'm taking your name away from you. I'm sick of it. I tried to give you grace and defend you the whole year, and you slowly started to show me that your philosophy is what it is. And again, I understand, OC, what you want to do, and this is the plan. And like I said, it came all the way from the other Art, Art Rooney. Came from up top. We're going to run the football. We got to get back to that. I get it. But even that said, there's still ways to produce better play calls. The problem with this philosophy, not only is it kind of outdated, it could still work. It's the same offense, a playbook that produced 34 points this year, a 37-point game, a 44-point game, a 27-point game. It's the same offense, but it's you. It's the play calling. It is the predictability. The lack of surprise. Same script. That is why it didn't work as well. Even though I still want a different philosophy, I am going to be smart enough to say, hey, it could still work if you utilize every tool in your tool bag. You did not. So until you show me something differently, if you return next year, because I seriously hope, I hate to say this, but I hope you go on one of those head coaching, the ones that we're hearing, quote unquote, based on the reports, that there's some people who want to interview you. I hope you go on those interviews. I hope you get the offers. And I hope you take the job. Because I am at the point now where I am kind of desperate as a Steeler fan. And I'm normally not like that, OC. But what I mean by desperate, I want to see change now. I'm no longer in the mode of waiting. Even though, shout outs again, I think Mike T is a great coach, but I want to see some of that philosophy change, even in the rest of the duration of his career. So nothing would make me happier than for you, OC, to take a job somewhere and we have to bring in another offensive coordinator. And then, folks, hear me. Then we can point the finger at Mike Tomlin if his hire is somebody who's, once again, conservative in his ways. Then we can solely blame that on Mike T. All right, you are dismissed, OC. I am done with you. Shout outs to Renegade Dre. I appreciate your Wonder Bread, my brother. Round of applause. Yeah. Renegade says this 8-year cycle has been sickening. Yeah, it hasn't really been good, guys. It really has not been. It is what it is, but and let me give a shout out to my beautiful, lovely wife. She heard me on the show and she gave me the stats. She said, it was 29 yards, babe. We only had 29 yards. Yeah, she talks like that too. She says we. 29 rush yards. The worst part about it, guys, is the philosophy and the plan. Other teams are doing that better than us. Think about it. The Ravens' philosophy, let me throw this at y'all. The Ravens' philosophy is also to run the football and to mitigate the run. They're doing that very well. So I caution myself when I say that Mike Tomlin's philosophy as far as the approach and want to be the big bad bully Steelers don't work. It can work, but it takes a couple different things. It takes proper play calling. Number one, not being predictable. It takes personnel. All right. Maybe we don't have the most talented team right now because, again, with some of you guys in Still a Nation will refuse to accept. We've said this. I say we because it's not just me. Many of you in the chat, we've been in rebuild for about 4 years now. We have. It's just hard to acknowledge it because guess what? Mike Tomlin doesn't have losing seasons. So he gives us false hope. Do y'all understand that? Do y'all understand? Let me be honest with us for a moment. Do y'all understand why we get so disappointed every year? It's because we expect more than we should. We don't even allow ourselves to acknowledge that, yeah, we in a rebuild mode. This is a rough time right now. Since Ben, we don't allow that because they give us false hope every year because we win 10 games here or whatever and sneak into the playoffs and beat teams that we ain't supposed to beat sometimes throughout the year. That's what happens. It's fool's gold. Some of y'all in the chat are going to laugh because y'all know I've said this for the last few years. There's times throughout the year I said, man, we fool's gold. I said it at the 11-0 season. Remember when Ben was playing decent that year and we were 11-0? Remember I said the Steelers were fools? I titled the show, Steelers a Fool's Gold. And again, that's not me wanting the praise or wanting to be right. I don't care about that. That's just me being a realist and looking at the game and using the eye test. That's it. That's it. It's not about being right or wrong. I don't care about any of that. So when some of you guys say that, like homie who tweeted that to me, that make me look at you differently. Because clearly, if you've been watching me for a long time, you would know that I'm far from that. So it's funny. So I look at you differently. I'll say that loud and clear, and I don't care who takes it away. Any of y'all who think that about me, I look at you a funny way. Because clearly you're not paying attention. But we got some Wonder Bread, man. Yum, 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 yum. Y'all got me eating tonight. Round of applause to Milk and Knight Rider. Appreciate both of y'all. Thank you. Somebody said Tomlin is Marvin Lewis 2.0. See how y'all do? Marvin Lewis ain't never won a playoff game. But whatever. Listen, I promise you, the Wonder Bread is coming heavy. I promise y'all, I will not have conversations with anybody about your feelings about Mike Tomlin. I'm way done. I'm done with that. I'm just going to give y'all my opinion on stuff, and that's it. I will not debate you on anything pertaining to Mike Tomlin. Milk, he says, hey, Sim, you think Tomlin has lost the locker room? No, I don't. We say that every year, and it continues to remain to not be true. I mean, this is the player saying that. I don't think he has lost the locker room. That's just my opinion. I think they could have came out tonight and laid an egg right after the second half, and they tried to fight them ways back. They were just outmatched tonight, man, point blank. They just got outmatched. Knight Rider says, so now it's a lack of talent. Did this same roster not just beat the same Ravens with Flowers earlier this year? Knight Rider, listen, okay, I have your opinion, but I don't think you guys really pay close attention to a lot of things that unfold. I just said earlier in the show, the difference is in philosophy, we don't change much from what we do. The Ravens clearly had a different approach in this game that we played in week 16, and they beat us handily again, and they did the same thing tonight. That's what happened. That has nothing to do. And listen, if you think we have a super talented roster, then that's your opinion. We don't, in my opinion, at key spots. All year we've been asking who's the second receiver. All year people have been questioning the quarterback. Should it be Russ? Should it be Justin Fields? Our cornerback play is not good. Listen, I hate to say it about Joy Porter Jr., but Joy Porter Jr. better show me something next year. He has the skill, but he's not doing it. I said to Kenyon earlier tonight, I said, listen, you look at guys like Stingley, you look at Denzel Ward, you look at guys like, what's my other man's name? What's the other guy? I can't remember this. It's another young kid. Surtain. And look at how they all are playing. And it's other corners that are doing, look at how these guys are playing, largely like throughout the season. We can't say that about Joy Porter Jr. because one of the main problems is he's handsy. He's got to stop that. I know we're going to say, oh, he's still young. No, he's got to stop that. It's 2 seasons now that this dude probably leads the team in penalties. Come on. Round of applause, man, to CT Pittman and James Webb. I appreciate y'all, man. The Wonder Bread is coming in. And I think I'm going to extend my 30 minutes by maybe another 10 because I'm down to 2.5. I just got a little bit more to say. But we ain't going to be all night. I promise y'all. CT Pittman says, exactly, other teams make things look easy while we consistently struggle. That baffles me. Yeah, man. We stick to the same plan. It's like, and again, I told y'all, it's like feast or famine with us. The philosophy is either going to work or it doesn't. We don't have any middle ground. And like I said, if you want to put anything on the head coach, is because that is the philosophy he's attempting to carry out, right? But like I said, I don't know if this is true or not, but we all heard Art Rooney II say before the season started what they wanted to get back to, and then you see Arthur Smith come in. And again, is Tomlin's higher? So like I said, some of y'all can't separate the two. I still say Mike Tomlin is a great football coach, but his philosophy is running its course. 2 things can be right. So this Steelers team that you're looking at now, and it's going to change some, but if they come back with the same philosophy, this is where we're going to be for the duration of Mike Tomlin's, the rest of his career with the Steelers, however long that's going to be. What I would like to see them do is change that philosophy. It's okay to still want to run the football, but you got to find different ways to do it. hey, maybe Justin Fields is the answer next year, and we can play a style like the Ravens, where you have a running threat and then you have a running back behind him, and we play good defense. It can work. We just played a team where it works. Now, I don't know how far the Ravens go, but it can work. It just is not currently working with the way we're trying to carry it out. And I knew it would rear its ugly head at some point with Russ being at the helm. Yes, Russ had gotten the offense going, but once film is out, guys, once they know what you're trying to do, I'm going to talk about that in a second too. Hold on. James Webb says, I got faith for Terrible Towel Tuesday and the Sim family. Wish I did for them using their weapons consistently or at all. Really shaking my head. Yeah, it's sad, man. It's sad. It is sad. It's sad. But hold on, guys. I'm going to give myself 10 more minutes and that's it. Hey, Siri, set a timer for 10 minutes, please. So it's like this. Once the film started coming out with Russell Wilson, somebody said to turn the volume on that beat up. All right, hold on. Let me give y'all a little bit. Put some more beat on that. There you go. Superstar SS. Let me get Superstar real quick. Round of applause. Round of applause. Thank you for that Wonder Bread, brother. See, that's it right there. What Superstar SS is saying, this is my point. He says, do you think Tomlin will ever hire a young and up-and-coming OC or DC, someone with fresh ideas? I hope so, man. Because again, guys, listen, if you don't like Mike Tomlin, and I promise you, I don't want to keep having this conversation, so I won't. But I want y'all to know where I stand. If you just don't like him, that's fine. I'm not going to make you like him. But I believe that Mike Tomlin is a great football coach, a great leader of men, and can win not only a playoff game, could take a team to the Super Bowl if they have a different approach. So I would love to see Tomlin break out of that same philosophy, bring in a young gun, even a guy like a Kellen Moore, like I'm just using names like one of these younger cats. Even like homeboy, the Ravens defensive coordinator, I think it's Orr, right? Like bring in some youth with youth and freshful ideas. Even Flores is not the youngest guy, but like, man, I wish Flores maybe could have stayed. But again, Flores left to take on a D coordinator job. Austin was already the guy. But I wish we could have got Brian Flores when we didn't have a D coordinator. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we need a change of approach. Now, let me get back to Russell Wilson. Really quick, like I said, once the tape was out, it was easy to defend us. And this is my point, y'all. If you guys watch Hard Knocks, you remember the episode, I think it was episode 4. The Ravens coach, I think the dude's name is Noah something. I can't remember his last name, but the coach there, I think he was their defensive coach. He said, or the defensive back coach, he said, and I quote, Russell Wilson has no mid-range. He shoots from the 3 or it's a layup. There's no mid-range. Take the deep ball away and he has nothing. That's what he said, fam. Can we not agree with that assessment? You see what I'm saying? It's philosophy. It's the offensive philosophy that made it such a struggle this season. We saw the same thing with Matt Canada. Oh, here's the funny thing. Shout outs. Alex Kazua put up the stats. The Steelers have been worse this season on first down than they were with Matt Canada. Do y'all believe that? I told y'all I'm a man of my word. I was trying to defend Arthur Smith and saying, I think he's a little better than Matt Canada, but that's a crushing stat. And honestly, not much better, guys. As the season went on, it's the same routine again. So it's the philosophy. And like I said, whether it's coming from up top, whether it's Mike Tomlin's decision himself, as far as the philosophy, that has to change. If that does not change, listen to me clearly. The only thing we can do as Still a Nation is hope that the roster is able to carry out the philosophy better. Other than that, we're going to look at the same, like my brother Tony would say, it's going to be the same movie. And I'm tired of viewing it too. I think some of y'all get that twisted, that y'all think I'm just accepting this. I'm not. I'm just a realist. Again, your football team has only had 3 head coaches. So all of the chit chatter about fire, it's not going to happen. They don't fire coaches. Here's a question for y'all. I want to ask you guys this question because some of y'all in the chat seem to think y'all know everything. I don't know how y'all be getting the information, but if it's right, I appreciate y'all. Do y'all think Mike Tomlin has the ability to fire a coordinator? When I say the ability, do the Rooneys allow that? Do y'all think it's Mike Tomlin's decision alone? Like, can he say, okay, I'm going to get rid of this guy, bring in somebody else? I want y'all to answer that for me. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this donation. Y'all would never believe who this is coming from. Round of applause to my lovely wife. I told y'all she a rider. Y'all better get one of these. You young boys, or even you older cats that's looking for Miss Right, get you one of them. The one and only Sasha says, you know, I was mad when Tomlin picked Russ over Fields. I feel like he sat the hot hand down. Look at that. Let me tell y'all something. She ain't like that. And let me tell you, I was telling her from a football standpoint, guys, I might have to do another. I know I lied about the 30 minutes. I'm still talking, but I don't want to go too long. I really don't, but I got a little more to say. I was trying to give my wife the football analogy. I said, look, babe, they're going to go with Russ because that was the initial plan. Plus, Russell Wilson is more of a veteran right now, sees the field a little better, more accurate with what they're trying to do. She said, I get all of that, but he was 4-2. I think they snatched it from under his feet. She was hot about that. And like I came on the show and said it, I can't be mad at anybody who felt like Justin Fields should have stayed. But I do think if we looked at the offense at that time, Justin Fields wasn't making reads that he needed to make. He wasn't pulling the trigger. So I understood the switch. And I don't want to go against that now because, again, Russ did elevate the offense at points of the season, but it grew very evident later on, particularly the last 4 games, right? You start seeing the elements of Russ. When you keep Russ in that pocket, it's bad. When that pocket collapses, you know, whether it's his stature, he doesn't do well in the pocket, doesn't see the middle of the field too well. Go back and look at the Seattle days. When he was the most successful, he was on the move. They moved that pocket. He breaks down a little bit. He gets a little antsy now when that thing crowds. That's just a fact. And that started happening as the season went on. Now, Russell Wilson, don't lie to yourselves, guys. Russell Wilson has thrown that deep ball very well for the majority of the season when he was in. Connected on some big plays. We cannot deny that. But I think his inability, and like they said, to be fair, throughout his whole career, his inability to attack the middle of the field and intermediate, the Ravens coach said it, with him not having a mid-range game, you can't sustain that. And that's what happened, guys. That is what happened. And James Webb, man, more Wonder Bread. I appreciate you, man. Y'all coming in hot and heavy. Okay. James is making another good point, too. He says the O-line had both QBs sped up. First read, and then they look at the rush. Look at the 22. They get whipped to a ton. They get whipped a ton individually. They do. They do. Did y'all notice this? Calvin Anderson was playing. I think that was Calvin Anderson, or was that Spencer Anderson? It was one of them. 67. I think it's Calvin. He was playing left tackle. Did he start the game at left tackle? I text Kenyon and Tony during the game. I said, hey, did he start there or did Dan Moore play and get hurt? But he gave up a couple sacks tonight. But what did y'all say about Tomlin? JJ Walker says, I think he does. Rajon says, I think so, unless someone in the Rooneys are not connected to. Okay. Eric Brower says, no, he doesn't. Okay. Kenya says, no, Rooney's first let Canada go. SC. Okay. Jermaine says, if he does, then he has to be let go. Yep. Gourmet. That's a funny name, brother. Or lady. I don't know who this is. Gourmet diarrhea. That's hilarious. Gourmet diarrhea. See, I love witty humor like that. He says Tomlin is becoming Marvin Lewis. Y'all stop, man. Stop. I understand the comparison, but come on, man. I don't care how many playoff games he loses. I'm just talking about in general. Like he says, put nameless great faces on it. If one guy has never won a playoff game and another guy has won playoff games and won a Super Bowl, I cannot compare those two. So don't do that, guys. Don't do that. What else y'all got? So some of y'all think Tomlin can do it. Some of y'all think he can't. Okay. So y'all asking Tomlin to step down. Good luck with that, guys. That's all. Good luck with that. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, Dan Moore got hurt. Okay. Good luck with that. You know, I wish you guys a ease of heart for the remaining time that Mike Tomlin is at the helm, because I think his contract is said Mike Tomlin is signed through 2027, and I take that to be the 2027 season. So that means there's 3 more seasons, right? Or am I wrong there? It says through 2027. So I would assume, because 2027 would start that season that year, right? You know, because right now it's going to be the 2026 season, right? Then it's going to be the 26 to 2027 season, and then it would be 2027 to 2028. So good luck with that. That's all I'm saying, man. You know, if for y'all that just want him to be fired and stuff, that don't feel that in your heads, guys, because I would not hold my breath for that happening. I'm just saying, I'm just speaking from the Rooney standpoint. Now, of course, there's always a chance that, you know, something crazy happens. He decides he doesn't want to coach anymore. Or the Rooneys decide to do something they've never done and they fire. So anything is possible. I just would not expect it. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't expect either one of those. He keeps talking about how much he loves the game. Don't expect either one of those to happen. If it did, I would be completely surprised. Let's see what else y'all got. I put TJ Watt in the thumbnail, man, for a couple reasons, and then I'm going to wrap this up. I'm fearful that time is running out for TJ Watt to win a playoff game. And also, I want to acknowledge that TJ Watt was quiet tonight. He was quiet tonight. Now, I'm not beating up TJ Watt. See, some of y'all do that. For game to game, y'all beat up players. I'm not. He was very quiet tonight. Cam Hayward looked like he was out there putting his life on the line. I love that guy. I think I'm going to cop Cam Hayward's jersey this season. This year. I got to get that because he has been one of my all-time favorite Steelers. Yes, mine, since I've been watching the Steelers. What else do I want to say? Deshaun Elliott also, man. Deshaun Elliott has been a great sign, man. I really hope, I don't remember if he's a 1 or 2 year or 3 year, but I really hope he's back. And that's what I got, man. I think George had a pretty decent bounce back game. So listen, guys, listen. It is what it is, guys. Again, we're just not that good a team, largely. We're not. In terms of executing the game plan, we're just not. Some people would say it's unfair that that's the game plan and philosophy we have. Maybe. But we're just not. Because this is how I look at it, guys. Regardless of who you want to blame, once the ball is hiked, it's on the players, right? Now, of course, game plan and stuff, of course. Play calling. Play calling is a big factor. Big factor. But what I'm saying is, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson ran crazy tonight. That's on the players, bro. As far as getting off of blocks, making tackles, not getting ran over, that's on the players. Now, play calls. Can I tell y'all one thing that I'm sick of? And if Mike Tomlin has the ability to fire, I would like for him to get rid of Teryl Austin. Now, I know some of the philosophy might be Mike Tomlin's, but Teryl Austin is the one calling the plays. Can we stop with the soft coverage? Both man and zone, please. Can we grow a pair and just stick to a philosophy? Like, I would love us to become a team. We beat us. You gonna beat me or I'm gonna beat you. We right in your face. Please. Even on that touchdown, man, in front of Dante Jackson, you just see how we just give up the inside so easy. Why? And like Kenyon and I was discussing during the game, it's like that's the philosophy. That's what we do. Why do we do that? And them soft zones, it almost reminds me, I don't know if Sim Gaming Network is in here, but it almost reminds me of Madden. Well, when we play zone, we just play an area. You see it all the time with the linebackers. People just be right behind them. They just play in the area, watching the quarterback like this. They don't do no, you know what I'm saying? They don't peek to see if somebody's behind them to get more depth. They just play an area. We have to stop doing that. And if we're going to play zone, can we condense it a little bit and not give so much cushion? If we're going to play man, can we line straight up and make the receiver decide which way he's going to go? Or if you're going to play a side, I would rather us take the inside away and give them an opportunity on the outside. Maybe we get beat sometimes over the top, but I would rather just get beat trying like that instead of giving them the easy. I was telling Kenya, man, if I was an offensive coordinator, all I'm running against the Steelers are slants and over routes. That's it. They're going to be open because our DB's open to the inside. Like, what is happening here? He's got to go. He's got to go, man. I'm sorry, Teryl Austin. I cannot continue to watch this same philosophy. And Mike Tomlin, if your hand is in that, I'm saying it to you as well. You have to change that philosophy. I know you're not going anywhere. You have to change that. You keep saying changes are going to be made, but we got to see them. And furthermore, again, y'all can blame coaches too. It's a combination of both. Go back and watch these games. It's a lot of these games, man, where these players just ain't executing, bro. They just not. They're not. So it's talent and philosophy. Round of applause to both C.T. Pittman and Brent Fox for the Wonder Brand. And then I think I'm going to wrap this thing up right after that. We're approaching midnight. C.T. Pittman says, we are leaps and bounds behind the rest of the division in quarterback play. Besides the Browns, we needed franchise quarterback. That too, guys. That too. Thanks for all the great content this season, Sim. Of course, man. Thank you guys for watching. And again, stick with me in the off season. You know, I'll be with you guys each and every Tuesday. We will find stuff to talk about. But we can't leave without saying that too. And I'm sure I'll say more of this on Tuesday, especially after I watch the game again. Y'all don't, dog, it's so many other things. And I want to say this. I'm going to say this and we'll end on this. I want y'all to answer this. Can you really say, like honestly, take your feelings out of it. Can you really say that Mike Tomlin is the only reason why the Steelers have lost these games? Whether this season, last season, last playoff games, just him. Because like I said, I think coaches get too much blame and too much credit. Everybody blames Mike Tomlin for us losing to Blake Bortles. The score was 45-42. It was the same problem that we continued to have during that Killer B era. Tons of offense, no defense. No defensive personnel. But again, people will always just blame the head coach. I just don't understand that, guys. I don't care if it is Mike Tomlin or not. I guarantee you people are going to say this today about the other Harbaugh. People are going to say Jim Harbaugh lost that game. They're going to say that. I watched that game and I didn't see many things that I could point the finger at Jim Harbaugh. Same guy who just won a championship, national championship, but they're going to say it. That's how fans do. Too much credit and too much blame go to head coaches. Hunter Johnson says absolutely not. David says absolutely not. Smitty says no, it's the front office as well as the philosophy of the front office is horrible. Caleb says he's been the only continuate. Sim, oh, okay, fair. Some people think it is him. It don't matter, bro. He is the final boss, Sim. Okay. Knight Rider says, bro, you asking to frame leading questions. Oh, okay, that's your opinion. I think that was a very straightforward question, but whatever. Jack Bauer says no. Smitty says, how do you go most of the season not having a true number 2 receiver? Good question. Knight Rider said he is the common denominator. That's fine. That's you guys' opinion. All right, so let me ask you this. Let me ask y'all a better question. I want you to look at the teams. Let's start with Kenny Pickett's rookie season till now. Are y'all 100% confident that a different coach has a different outcome with the teams that were assembled by the Pittsburgh Steelers? That will be the last question of the night. I know, Debbie, it's tough when I watch them, man. But honestly, okay. Cyberpunk says yes. Okay, respect that. Ghost Marley says you can't spot a team 21 points and expect to win. I don't care who the coach is. Facts. Walter says, why do we always go for the strip instead? Yeah, man, we do that a lot. I think they're trying to follow TJ Watt's lead. When he started picking his own coaches and got more power and went downhill from there. Okay, that's a fair point. See, that's a fair point. I respect that. Like I said, philosophy. Tomlin's philosophy. Fair point. David McLeod says no, while Diggy says no. Diane says coordinators are the problem and some not so good players. Okay. John says no, sir. Rajan says Lovie Smith builds a team and gets fired the following year. Yeah, it was terrible. If the Lions don't want Tomlin, the Lions don't want Tom. Oh, I don't know what that is. Bob says they have been assembled in his image and to his liking. Okay, fair. Afro says no. And who else? Ed says I would love to find out. That's fair. Like I said, guys, after 18 years, at this point, it's not going to bother me one way or the other if Mike Tomlin wasn't the head coach. I've gotten what I needed to get from Mike Tomlin. I will always respect Mike Tomlin. I will always call Mike Tomlin a great coach. I think Mike Tomlin has done an excellent job. Yes, I said it. An excellent job as the football coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers for 18 years. What he has been able to do is not easy, which is the reason why no one else has done it. But after 18 years, I am open to a new voice, of course, but it ain't going to be 18. It's going to be... He's got 3 more years on his contract. So... Renegade Dre says, oh, this is an interesting one. Round of applause for the Wonder Bread. He says Dan Campbell is what Tomlin should be. Okay. Explain that a little further. Because you may say, you're probably going to say something about wins and all of that, but don't forget, again, and I know what y'all going to say, oh, it was Cowboys team, but Mike Tomlin won a Super Bowl within his first 3 years. Mike Tomlin went to 2 Super Bowls within his first, got my math right, within his first 5 years. So that's all I'm saying. Knight Rider's right. He says Tomlin was Dan Campbell at that point of his career. And that's my point. That's my point, guys. It's low-hanging fruit that we're trying to fish for. And again, I'm not debating you. I'm just saying I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that's the right analogy, Renegade. Because, Why Diggy said the same thing. You know, what Tomlin was that at the beginning of his career, too. You know, so that's not a fair comparison. What you probably could say is somebody like maybe like a Andy Reid, right? You could probably say like a Andy Reid. Andy Reid had a super long career, got to a Super Bowl, didn't win it, won some playoff games, lost some playoff games, went to Kansas City, resurrected Kansas City, landed a phenomenal quarterback, built that team up, and now they're in chasing a third chip. So maybe you could say that. Maybe you could say that Tomlin should be what Andy Reid is, but again, that it ain't many of those, right? You understand what I'm saying? That's my point. There's not many coaches that you can find. I'm going to say that with confidence. There's not many coaches that you can find in the last 20 years better than Mike Tomlin. Sorry. That's just my point. Okay. CT Pittman, appreciate the Wonder Bread. He says, go check out GP's post-game comment. A great topic for Tuesday. I will definitely check that. Andy Reid and Tomlin are 2 separate levels. My point exactly. But who else? Who else could you put in the Tomlin category? And A&R did not say he was Andy Reid. I said, take Renegade's comment and maybe you say Andy Reid. Maybe you say Andy Reid is what Mike Tomlin should be. I'm just using his topic. That's not my opinion. I'm using his topic, replacing Dan Campbell with Andy Reid. He says Campbell went to the Super Bowl with the Falcons. He was not the head coach, right? And they lost. But Sean Payton. Okay. All right. Okay. I see what the comparison is there. Pretty much the same career, right? Pretty much same career. But all right, that's all I got, guys. Like I said, I'm not here to debate what y'all believe and don't believe about Mike Tomlin. Like, that part I don't really care about. We all have our opinions. I'm just saying, boom, right there. Last Wonder Bread right there. Isaiah Threets, appreciate you. He says the offense lacks talent, plain and simple. Yes, plain and simple. Even though the defense gave up a ton tonight, which we couldn't allow that, and we did. If the offense was better, it balances that. An offense that can sustain drives, have long drives, produce points here and there, not every time, here and there. You make that game shorter in terms of the other offense possessing the ball. So as much as we get on the defense, and it was a horrible performance, the fact that the Pittsburgh Steelers had pretty much zero offense the last 5 games now is the reason why they lost. We can pick and choose narratives all we want. That, to me, is a very strong, educated guess as to why we lost. I can't say fact, but it looked like fact to me based on the eye test. We have not scored 20 points in a long time. 20. In today's NFL, it's going to be hard to sustain that. We saw a defensive game today at 4:30, and what happened? All of a sudden, some points got put on that board. That's just it. And we've known this. This offense has been stagnant and predictable. We had some games where we put some points on the board because it was working. Like I said, it was early. It was early rust games. Remember, early. But once that film got out there, oh, that's what they doing? We got them. Again, last quote of the night. The Ravens coach said on Hard Knocks, Russell Wilson has no mid-range. He shoots threes and he shoots layups. You take those away, they're dead. Correctamundo. Oh man, Walter Worthy with the big time Wonder Bread. You bought Wonder Loafs. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Outstanding comment right here. I think Mike Tomlin is an excellent coach, but it just might have run its course. Pat's moved on from Belichick, but look at them now. Are Steelers fans willing to go through the process? Winning right now is not realistic. That goes back to what I said, guys. Y'all have grown tired of the philosophy. We all have. I'm tired of seeing the same philosophy too when it does not work. But that is a fact. Y'all think that we're going to just snap our fingers, bring a new coach in, and we win the Super Bowl. It don't always work like that, folks. So are you guys willing to go through that? We shall see. All right, I'm out of here, guys. I spent way too much time than I was supposed to. I'm going to go spend some time with my lovely wife right now and try to enjoy the rest of this night and get up tomorrow and go watch my son play some basketball. I'm mad that it's at 1 o'clock because I really want to see that Bills game, but I'll be able to catch most of it. And we'll see how the rest of these playoffs play out, man. It is what it is, guys. I told y'all at the beginning of the year, right? I said we were not going to win the Super Bowl, so what's with the long face? What's with the long face? That's kind of how I'm looking at it now. Like, right, I'm with y'all. I don't just give credit to the winning season. No, I'm like, forget all of that. I've seen you have the winning season. I've seen you win the Super Bowl and get to another one. I've seen the 12-4 seasons, all of that. Now I'm looking for me to feel like my team is a Super Bowl contender. If I don't feel that in the beginning of the season, and particularly by game 6, when I usually have a beat on what the team is, I have no more expectations. Would it have been nice to see them win a playoff game? Sure, but it would have meant nothing because this team was not a Super Bowl contender. Point blank, period. So what's with the long face? All right, man, I'll catch y'all later, man. Y'all know the routine, man. If you like the content, show your love and hit that like button. If you like the content even more, subscribe to the channel. And once you subscribe, turn on the notification bell. And last but not least, I'm going to give you the lovely spiel like I always do. Make sure you guys stay safe out there. And really quick, prayers up to all of those affected in Los Angeles, man, in Southern California, man. Please pray for those people, man. I'm not going to, go too far into this, but I know Kenyon advised me tonight that he knows someone who's lost their home in this situation. This thing is real. And I don't need you guys, people out here in the world, when these people who are quote unquote rich are telling their story and y'all saying, what does it matter? You're rich. That is very stupid. Yeah, I said that. And I'm sorry if I offended somebody, but that is very stupid to say. It doesn't matter how rich somebody is. If you lose things that you cannot replace with money in a home because it burned to the ground, I don't care who it happened to. It could be Jeff Bezos, who has plenty of money, and I would feel bad for him. That is so stupid. We got to stop doing that as just a people. That's crazy. Just because they rich. You rich anyway, what does it matter? What? Stop doing that. That's dumb. So please pray for those folks, man. And like I said, stay safe out there. Stay healthy. God bless. Good night. I thank y'all for tuning in, like always. And I shall catch you guys in the next one, which should be on Tuesday for Terrible Towel Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See y'all then. Peace.